Welcome to Southeast Asia, a region of rich culture, diverse people, and economic dynamism.
Asean, or officially called the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, is a 10-nation alliance composed of these countries, and it was established way back in 1967. Originally, it was a 5-nation coalition composed of only Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. It was brought up and formed because of the need for stability for regional politics and conflicts, geopolitical factors, economic development, and cooperation to fix any issues related to the region. Throughout the years that follow, relationships with one another eventually evolve and help one another's education, science, agriculture, and industrial fields. By 1984, Brunei soon then followed after its independence from the British, and Vietnam by 1995, soon after the end of the Cold War. And by the next 5 years, Laos, Myanmar, and Cambodia soon followed. Soon after the 10 nations became close-knit with one another, they signed one of the most important Free Trade Area Agreements, or FTAs, with a nation called China. This was signed way back in 2004, and it enabled China and the Southeast Asian region to be intertwined with one another's economy and trade.
Established in 1967, ASEAN was founded on the principle of mutual respect, non-interference, and peaceful coexistence. What begins as a regional bloc aimed at promoting economic growth and stability as it evolved into a multi-phased organization, addressing a wide range of issues from trade and security to environment sustainability and cultural cooperations.
ASEAN has been one of the grandest economic success stories during the past decades. It went from a relatively poor region to becoming one of the most exciting emerging markets that manufactures innovative products and services and exports them globally. It's a nation that once had a $29 billion gross domestic product in 1970, making it one of the world's poorest regions. But by 2021, it is now estimated to be about $3.6 trillion. Its growth rate of the past decade has far surpassed that of other emerging markets like Eastern Europe, Africa, Latin America, and Central Asia.
The ASEAN Summit takes place annually. It is a meeting of the heads of state and government where current problems are discussed and solutions are worked out. In 2008, the ASEAN Charter came into force, giving the association the status of a legal person. Principles of non-intervention and consensual decision-taking remained unchanged by the Charter. Decisions are generally made by consensus. No member can be forced to something. As a result, the group rarely appears to be closed.
The midset of Southeast Asia's breathtaking beauty lies a pressing challenge: environmental degradation. From deforestation and pollution to climate change and loss of biodiversity, the region faces a multitude of environmental threats that requires urgent action.
Today, ASEAN is based on 3 pillars. As a political and security community to ensure peace, as an economic community with a strong domestic market, and as a social and cultural community, including a common identity. Challenges and solutions. ASEAN faces a number of social and environmental challenges. Countries such as Vietnam or the Philippines are particularly vulnerable to climate change and already feel its impact today. Problem: co-production. Nevertheless, member states plan to meet the energy demand by making primarily use of climate-damaging coal. Indonesia plans to build 117 new coal-fired power plants by 2025. Myanmar invests in gigantic hydroelectric power plants and coal. Laos builds dams on the Mekong. The result is that Vietnam loses water in the Mekong Delta. However, fossil fuels, for example, are not necessary to cover the lack of energy. Renewable energy sources ranging from biomass to solar energy and wind power have enormous potentials in the region. They too would promote the local economy and provide sustainable jobs.
By 2025, and ASEAN member states are collectively home to the world's second largest community of Facebook users. Intra-regional trade, as a share of the economy, is less than half that of NAFTA and the EU. This could deepen significantly with the ASEAN Economic Community. The AEC aims to boost regional trade and production, delivering freer movement of goods, services, skilled labour and capital. ASEAN includes 227 of the world's companies with more than $1 billion in revenues, or 3% of the world's total. Government debt is under 50% of GDP, far lower than the 90% share in the United Kingdom or 105% in the United States. ASEAN is the fourth largest exporting region in the world, trailing only the EU, the USA and China. ASEAN is a diverse group. The difference in average incomes over the member states is 7 times that of the EU. By sharing a common focus on jobs and prosperity, and by creating a seamless regional market and production base, ASEAN could prove to be the case in which the whole actually does exceed the sum of its parts.
The ever-evolving landscape of Southeast Asia, the Asian Master Plan emerges as a beacon of progress and unity. Reflects the years of collaboration and vision. The strategic roadmap set the course for regional collective aspiration.
Several German companies operating in the region say there is a pressing need for a free trade agreement between the European Union and ASEAN. 86% of firms surveyed encountered barriers when exporting goods and services to ASEAN. Nearly 170 companies took part in the survey commissioned by the Singaporean German Chamber of Industry and Commerce. During a dialogue session, Foreign Affairs Minister Vivian Balakrishnan highlighted the benefits of FTAs. He says the Singapore-EU FTA improved market access and intellectual property protection between both sides. As ASEAN grows to become the world's 4th largest economy, Dr. Balakrishnan says an FTA with the EU is critical.
It will enhance the region-to-region connectivity and also create new opportunities for trade and investment by drawing on the complementary strengths of our two regions. Strategically, it will also diversify critical supply chains, enhance economic resilience, while fostering deeper EU-ASEAN engagement in our region, in tandem with the existing agreements.
The Master Plan on ASEAN Connectivity 2025 aims to achieve a seamlessly and comprehensively connected and integrated ASEAN that will promote greater competitiveness, inclusiveness, and a stronger sense of community. The Master Plan will focus on 5 strategic areas: sustainable infrastructure, digital innovation, seamless logistics, regulatory excellence, and people mobility. ASEAN needs at least $110 billion of infrastructure investment each year. This is a big opportunity which the Master Plan aims to help investors seize by developing a rolling pipeline of priority infrastructure projects and by helping member states improve infrastructure productivity to reduce the time and cost of projects. The Master Plan will focus on supporting the digital adoption of micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, the development of open data, promoting digital financial inclusion, and establishing strong data governance frameworks. The Master Plan aims to reduce the duration and cost of transportation in the region by identifying key bottlenecks in important trade routes and sharing best practices to remove them. The Master Plan focuses on standards harmonization, mutual recognition and technical regulations, as well as addressing trade-distorting non-tariff measures. The Master Plan will focus on facilitating travel for tourists by making information on travel options more accessible and providing simpler mechanisms to apply for necessary visas. The Master Plan will develop high-quality qualification frameworks in critical vocational occupations, which ASEAN countries could implement according to their national circumstances. Through the implementation of the Master Plan, ASEAN can strengthen its community-building efforts and demonstrate that the whole is truly greater than the sum of the parts.
As we look forward, the future one thing is clear. ASEAN will continue to play a pivotal role in shaping the destinies of Southeast Asia and beyond.